Guys, how y'all doing today? Today we're gonna attempt to try again to test the fuel rail on a 95 Taurus. As you see, is a 3.8 V6 engine. First thing first, we're gonna go ahead and have our gauge ready. It's at 0, as you can see. It runs 0 to 100 psi and it's hooked up onto our fuel rail right here on the Schrader valve. Okay. You want to make sure you have that properly secure with no leak, so that way we can get a proper reading. You also want to have a used fuel container, which we have right here. It says used gas on it right there, so that when you go ahead and release the pressure on it, it can actually have somewhere to go rather than on the ground or into the atmosphere, which is against EPA regulations and things like that. Now we're going to go ahead and have him turn it over in a second, and we should see our gauge jump up to about 25 psi, just around that area. So we're gonna go ahead and prime the fuel pump. Go ahead. As you see, it jumped up to about 21 psi. That's okay. We want it to be within 25-35, which tells us our fuel pump and our fuel regulator is working correctly. But in this case, when you turned it, you should have heard a sound, which sounds like your electronic fuel pump is going ahead and starting up. We're gonna go ahead and crank it over. All right, you see how it jumped up? Now we should have a reading between 25 and 35 psi. Right now we're at about 24, which means our pressure is just slightly outside of our margin. Now, I'm going to do a couple of other checks on it, probably check on the fuel pump, drop that down and check the fuel regulator, and do a little electrical test on it, because that's what I think it is. I don't know for sure. But all goes well, this is how you actually check the fuel pressure inside of your fuel rail. Thank you, guys.